I got this tie rod situation worked out. I kept breaking tie rod ends here, the ends on the housings. Problem I was having, I was using these RC four-wheel drive M4 ones, and they're pretty good. But if you land directly on the nose or directly on the tail, the links are taking all that pressure. Nothing's being diverted to the servo saver. So, what would happen is sometimes anywhere where there was an air void in here where the wasn't filled with threading, that would crack or snap. And then on really hard hits, the clearance here is pretty tight, so the wheel would flex and rub, and over time wear off the ends of these, and then they would break too. The ones going from the chassis to the housings, they were always fine because they could only take as much load as the servo saver could resist, so they have protection, but these would take the brunt of it. Normally I don't like these aluminum ones because they pop out that insert and then they come loose, but I figured out a way to run the aluminum ones without the inserts popping out, and that is putting these M4 washers on both sides of it. And the inner diameter of the washer is the exact as the outer diameter of the collar of the inner part of the rod end. So it basically goes into a sandwich like that, and it can pop out. It still rotates freely for pivoting the steering. Obviously it has no articulation, but it doesn't need to on a solid axle truck because in relationship to each other they don't pivot or flex, it just rotates. So there's no binding. I can do that setup for these links because they need to traverse and angle a lot more going from the chassis to the housings, but like I said, they're protected by the servo saver, kind of functioning as the maximum force that they would ever have to withstand. So I think this should be good to go. Give it a test in a bit.